Hang on.
Okay.
Hey everybody, hi, my name is Kurt Molly here. I am with Social Media Ad Genius. Some of you guys may have seen us in some of our other videos. Now, if you're watching this video, it's probably because you're part of our Jumpstart group, which is awesome. So first of all, welcome. I'm really glad you're here. Now, I'm really excited. Now, you are going to see this on recording, but I am really, really excited about what we're going to talk about here in the next couple of weeks and the two people I'm going to introduce you here in just a couple of minutes. So let me kind of tell you about this idea that I had that was really interesting. So this guy, Scott, which is going to be over here, on my screen it's over here, but he's over here. Anyway, Scott calls me a couple of weeks ago and he goes, Kurt, I'd love to figure out a way to work with Blackbox. And I go, okay, I don't know, you're out in the East Coast, I don't know how that's going to work. Spent some time talking about it. And then Scott sent me a video. Now the video was awesome. Basically it was a small, no, don't take this in the wrong way. It was a small, very simply made, like with 3 buttons as a cut. But it was so effective, it was awesome. It really got my mind thinking. And I'm like, hey, you know what we could do is we could do like this social media ad genius apprentice. So we could get Scott that would come in here, go through the training, gives people some cliff notes. And then my buddy Ori calls me and he goes, Kurt, and I believe everything happens for a reason. He goes, Kurt, I'd like to have your agency run my ads for me. And I'm like, well, I'm really expensive. Here's kind of what the fee is. And he's like, I'd like to learn more from you guys, and I got this art project, and I just funded this Kickstarter thing, which is a whole other story that I wanted to tell you because I think it's awesome for what he did and the support he got around it. Awesome way to hit your goals, Ori. But Ori goes, hey, Kurt, I'd like to figure out a way to work with you. And I go, you know, and then I thought of Scott, and then I thought of Ori, and I'm like, let's have 2 people be the social media ad genius apprentice. They're going to go through the entire course. They're going to go through Jumpstart. They're going to learn exactly what you guys do. Both have different levels of internet experience, and I'll go through that in a second. So today is officially the first time that they've met. They literally met about 10 minutes ago. We talked for about 3 or 4 minutes, and especially I didn't really let them say too much to each other just so we can get some really good insight from both these guys. So first of all, let me tell you a little bit about Scott, one of the 2 guys here. So I'm just going to point right in the middle, right? So let me tell you a little about Scott. I've known Scott for a couple of years. I've been out speaking at different events around the U.S. Met Scott at a couple of different locations and gotten some really interesting conversations, especially over jazz hands. I know that Scott does some awesome consulting in the tech industry. At the same time, too, has this passion for being a thespian and working in community theater. And on the other side, training for triathlons and doing some really cool health and wellness stuff. So Jazz Hands Consulting. I have someone typing that in over the side. You guys won't be able to see that, but we're all going to be doing Jazz Hands Consulting, right? That was probably bad, so I'll require some assistance with that Jazz Hands Consulting. So anyway, what we have here is Scott had a great idea, and I said, hey, let's do this social media ad genius apprentice thing. So then when I talked to Ori, and I'm like, wait a minute, both you guys can do this together because here's the awesome thing. Ori, right down again, right over here. Some people may or may not know. Ori is kindly called Couch Surfing Ori. No, that wasn't because he was homeless. Well, technically he was homeless, but he has slept on couches of some of the most amazing people in the world. Now, that sounds really weird, but here's the thing. When I first met Ori, I'm like, this guy is like Pauly Shore. He's a little out there. He's a little. Here's the thing, though. I saw some of the photography that he did. I saw some of the website design that he did. I heard about so many people. He said how much Ori really cared about what he did, how much he cared about other people, and really the way it came down to treating other people, which is, I know we like to poke fun at a lot of people, but Ori has one of the biggest hearts in the world. He just won this Kickstarter campaign, and he is super, super, super creative. He just won this Kickstarter campaign to really chase one of his passions, and while he's working on his passions is Ori got himself a 3D printer. And Ori loves tape measures a lot. It's one of his fetishes. He loves tape measures. So Ori, I would like to introduce you to Scott. Scott, I would like to introduce you to Ori, and I'd love for you guys to tell a little bit about yourself and what you're going to do with this training in a minute or 2. Tell me a little bit about yourself, or tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're going to do with the training. So, since I mentioned Scott's name first, Ori, I'm going to go with you first.
Oh, dang. I was ready for Scott to go first. All right. So, hey, everyone. I'm Ori Bengal. Most people know me as Couch Surfing Ori. I was couch surfing, basically, I guess basically homeless, you could say, for about 6 years. But on that journey, prior to starting that journey, I've done just about every occupation and video editing. I ran a photo studio. I ran a print shop. I was a programmer. I was a web designer. Was a videographer, a 3D animator, and a bunch of other things. Some of them I probably can't even admit on this hangout. But I was bored. I get bored easily. I'm very good at that. And so I was like, all right, well, where do I renew my lease? Well, let's just go everywhere and decide where I want to live. I had no clue it was going to last 6 years. I stayed with hundreds of different people, including Tony Hsieh, the CEO of Zappos.com. I've stayed with UFC cage fighters. I've stayed at an all-girls college. I've stayed with roller derby players, just a bunch of everyone. But my favorite, well, I got to discover a ton about myself and about humans, about other people as well. And as well as while I was driving all those thousands and thousands of miles, I was listening to audiobooks, I was attending conferences, so I got to learn a ton about internet marketing. That was my favorite community because one of the reasons I left South Florida, even though I was living on the beach and stuff, none of my friends were entrepreneurial like me, and thus when I'd be like, "Hey, let's go to the beach, or let's go to Disney. It's a Tuesday. There's not going to be any lines or anything." No one could go. Well, with internet marketing, it's a ton of other people that generally can live off their laptops, and if they want to go somewhere, they'll go somewhere. Last year, I went to Budapest to drive tanks with some friends. So I'm all about freedom. One of the things on the tail end of my journey, I reluctantly discovered art. I thought it was like boring and snooty and all that, and I was completely mistaken. And since then, to make sure that I don't flake out and that I actually get real good, I've been doing a work of art every single day. I'm in my third year now. I haven't missed a day. There's days I'll miss sleep, but I won't miss creating art. And yeah, recently I just created my very first Kickstarter, which was a success, even though 60% of all Kickstarters fail. I raised 25 grand out of the 20 grand that I was trying to raise, and that was with no preparation. So what do I want to do with Social Media Ad Genius and the coaching group and everything that we're doing right now? Art is my absolute passion. Like I said, I'll sacrifice sleep before I'll miss doing art. So I want to grow my brand. I've committed to that. I have a WordPress course which I've put out in the past, and this is something you should definitely pay attention to. Any internet marketers or wannabe internet marketers that have or want to create an info product, everyone hears, oh, once you create it, you can get everyone out there to promote it. Well, that takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of ass kissing. It takes a lot of networking. And if you're not well known, if you don't have a lot of karma, that takes a lot of work. Even if you do have all that stuff, it kind of sucks. You have to use up favors. So if you're following Kurt's strategies and what you're learning here in Social Media Ad Genius, you can just pay money and you don't have to, and you can make money and you can grow bigger and faster, and you don't have to rely on other people. And the funny thing, as you grow, other people are going to want to promote you anyways because now you're a big name. So I'm relaunching my my WordPress course, and I'm creating a course on Kickstarter and crowdfunding in general, and also my art. And I'm working on a how to do jazz hands product with Scott's help.
So one real quick thing here. This is really important. Scott, we'll jump over to you. Ori, one of the things that I've heard a lot of other people say about you, which I think is awesome, is you said you wanted to start doing art, and you committed to someone that you were going to do art. I don't remember who it was. You were going to commit to somebody that you would do art every single day for a year. And most people give up very quickly, and they give up very easily. You haven't done it for a year. You've done it now going on 3 years consistently every single day, rain, shine, sick, hungover, whatever. So that's huge. So at the end of the day, here's the thing. If people were as consistent as you are on practicing your art every day, because I've seen your original drawings versus what you're doing now and the sculpting and stuff, which is awesome, Ori, good for you. I'm telling you, people can make so much money online, whatever their product is, business, whatever, if they treated it with the exact same consistency. So, Ori, having you here, I'm going to push for you to be consistent on the ad portion for you to get that success like you have out of your art. So, good for
I'm
you.
going to add one other thing. I'm going to add. Is that, and again, for the viewers, the listeners, the people taking your course, the reason that this is so important, I don't want you to miss out on this opportunity. Look, the reason that I'm doing art no matter what is because it's my passion. It's what I would do whether I get paid for it or not. It's my personal expression. It's what I love. It brings me joy. It brings others joy. And yeah, it's something that, I know can make money. You hear of all these like paintings that sell for like 40 million or 100,000 and all that stuff. I know I can reach that level and more. So if you have something that you're passionate about, like my message when I do some public speaking and all that other stuff, the reason I made a WordPress course is because my heart really hurts when I hear people complain that they don't like their job, they don't like what they're doing. I'll skip sleeping and whatnot just to make sure that I get to do what I love, and I enjoy my life. I wake up happy, I go to sleep happy. Yeah, like reality happens and stuff, but generally I do what I'm passionate about, hence couch surfing for 6 years, and I've got lots of crazy adventures. I'll have to get permission from Kurt to tell you some of them, but the thing is that with this course, it's not just an opportunity to make money. You get to choose what you want to do to make that money. You're not just someone's bitch. Can I say that? You're not you're not a slave at a
You're a good
job.
editor. You may have to.
Well, I'm going to be doing the video editing, so I can bleep myself. But you not only have the opportunity to work on what you're excited about, you get to declare exactly how much money you want to and how much money you can make. No, there's no one telling you what you can't do. It's all up to you, and you get to choose, and that means that you also get to choose your schedule. If you want to sleep in until 2 in the afternoon every day, you can do that with this. And I'm not saying that to hype Kurt up or anything. I'm telling you from personal experience why I love about internet marketing and why I'm involved here and taking this, because this is where
Roll.
yeah.
So thank you, Ori. Appreciate it very, very much. So Scott, you have about the same color in your background that I have in my bunker office. By the way, I just like doing this just because of the effects. I don't know why. It just makes me feel important. Scott, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you are here as well, too.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, I'm so excited to be part of this project, to have the opportunity to work with you, Kurt, and Ori, to meet you, because Kurt has told me so many amazing things about you, and just listening to your story right now, I think this is so awesome because you and I have such completely different backgrounds that I just cannot wait to get started and really dig in and see how we both kind of approach things. So my background is in tech, but in sort of like big corporate settings. Done consulting for many years, and this is really my first foray into internet marketing. What I've learned from Kurt, from going through some of his training previously, but also just some of the events and presentations I've attended. I got to just like interject and say, Kurt, I'm so impressed with how much free, really high quality content you share and just kind of and give away. I mean, I personally learned so much just from that. So for those taking this course, I mean, given what Kurt and his team will give away for free, you know that when you're investing in yourself and actually in this material, what you're getting is like the cream of the crop. So that's totally awesome. So what I discovered in learning from Kurt and starting implementing some of this for myself was just how I got passionate about internet marketing in a way that I had lost my passion for technology and what I was doing in the day job, and that really started to really take a toll on me. But internet marketing just like reignited this passion for me. What you would consider sort of a new to the entrepreneurial pursuits. It's only been a couple of years for me, so that really fires me up. And then internet marketing is just this amazing combination of technology, which I think is really cool, but also psychology, and also people just going out there and pursuing, like you said, pursuing their passions and being authentic about it and making connections with people, and then making money as a result of that. I mean, it's really just kind of a win-win for everybody. So that's where my excitement about internet marketing comes from, and where my desire to work with Kurt and learn more and be part of this project. I do have a theater background as well, so I'm very left brain and very right brain at the same time. I've performed on stage for many, many years, starting from when I was a kid. Theater is something I love. Music, I do musical theater, hence the jazz hands, and that was how Kurt and I I think connected the first time we met. So theater is a passion of mine as well. Triathlon. I've always been an athlete. I was a team sport athlete. As I got older and into my adulthood, it became more sort of an individual sport competitor. And recently, in the last couple of years, I had some friends saying, "Wow, man, you're crazy like us, and you like all of these individual sports, and you work out a couple times a day. You really got to check out triathlon as an option." So I got really involved in that and have met some really incredible people, and I feel like that, for me, has a lot of the same qualities as being an entrepreneur and getting involved in internet marketing, because again, it's just people sort of exploring their passion and being authentic and pushing themselves and trying new things. We'll try something new. Does this work? If it doesn't work, we're going to tweak it. We're going to do something else. You get a lot of that, in that sport as well. So being active physically is something else that's incredibly passionate to me. And Kurt, you mentioned sort of what I do. My entrepreneurial pursuit is in health and fitness, and that dovetails really nicely with what I do personally with my sport. And I love that it's all kind of a package, ties up nicely together. And Ori, man, I'm so excited to hear more specifically right now, like what you're doing with your art and where you see that going, like how you.
So real quick, before I can interject, and then we're going to answer that question.
Yeah.
So what's really unique about you guys is two different personalities, and just from knowing you both, is Scott, you've had on one side, you've had a very corporate, very structured career that you've turned into consulting and back into a career in consulting and so on. And you also have theater, that creative part of you.
Yes.
Now, Ori, I've known for 3 years maybe at this point. I've known Ori when he hasn't had any money, then he did have money, then he didn't have any money, then he had some money, then he didn't have some. But you always figure it out. Like, I've never seen Ori being like, my life sucks, I don't know what to do. He's like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? Got a couch tonight? And he's always just happy and smiling. Dude, it's awesome. Like, it doesn't matter the situation. So, Scott, kind of like you were talking about before, being an entrepreneur, just kind of throwing into it. I mean, Ori, you purposely throw yourself into situations on a regular basis that you're not comfortable with, that just helps you be more of who you are, which I just think is awesome too. Yeah, you guys working together.
I live for demolishing comfort zones. I mean, you're talking about personal fitness. Kurt, you remember for my 36th birthday, so when I was 35 and a half, I was like, I've never had a six-pack abs. I like to have those.
Yeah.
Half a year. And so, again, since the art thing was working for me by public accountability, I was using Facebook for public accountability. I'm like, all right, everyone, I made this goal, and every week I'm going to post my shirtless front and side pictures, sometimes in my underwear, whatever, and hopefully it keeps improving, and you know what? It was a close call. On my 36th birthday, I wake up, I'm like, all right, let's see what I look like without a shirt. Yeah! Back abs. And then that night, I'm like, all right, everyone, let's go for some margaritas and ice cream. And I haven't worked out for about 2 years. But I reached that goal, and I love it. But yeah.
So we'll kind of go through just a little bit more discussion. We'll get off here just shortly. I just want everybody just to see, obviously, who you guys are as well too. So I'll give you guys both 2 questions. So Scott, you get 2 questions for Ori. Ori, you have 2 questions from Scott. And the next time you guys are going to see these guys is going to be inside the training. And then here's the way this is going to work. Once a week, they're going to get a review of my training, how it applies overall for their business. Ori over here, down here below, playing with his favorite plush toy from this evening. He's going to help do some of the video editing. Him and Scott are promised to make it entertaining. See, Ori is already making it entertaining before we even started the class. So let's just do this.
I have no class.
Improv is really good. So let's see here. Ori, Scott has a question for you. Scott, what is that question?
Ori, man, you've been so consistent for the last 3 years with your art. Do you do it at the same time every day? Keep that consistent.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I usually consistent is not really. It's funny because everyone messages me on Facebook and my students are like, "Wow, you're such an inspiration. You're so consistent and dedicated." And I'm just like, "Wow, like what?" But it's true. Like this is the what I said earlier about for people who are going through this course. Don't waste the opportunity. Like who cares about the money? Don't waste the opportunity to have something that you're passionate about. I actually created a video which I never uploaded because my inner circle was like, you know, maybe you shouldn't put that out there. But it was a list of all the various chemicals that I've tried to improve my productivity. I am known for all the different things that I do, but people have no clue as to how much caffeine goes into that. And with art, I don't need anything. I don't need any sleep. I don't need caffeine. I can just do it. If I want to make a website, no problem. If I want to create a product, no problem. I can do anything. That's my silly human trick is I'm just, it doesn't matter what I'm doing except for that I get bored. And with art, it's a constant push to improve my craft. So there is no end goal except for just to keep getting better. And now, as a marketer, I can also tell you, since I've helped myself and other people with their marketing and branding, that another goal, especially in art, more than any other business, I have to become world famous, a household name, if I want my art to sell for hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. And so Facebook ads, for example, and fan page are what Kurt chose in this course is perfect for that. As far as do I do my art at the same time, definitely no. It's generally I just crank through the day hanging out on Facebook and also cranking out on a couple business things, and then I'll have dinner and it's like, dang, I didn't do a painting yet, so I'll just work on that until last couple of days. It's been until the sun comes up, and then finally it's a painting or a sculpture is not done until it's done. Also, something else that a lot of people don't realize, since they see me post every single day, I post every single day, but there's also additional paintings or sculptures that I'm working on at the same time that take multiple days. So I'm usually working on 2 or 3 things at once.
It's good.
I'm impressed, man.
Ori, you get a question for Scott. Go.
Yeah, well, you mentioned that you're passionate about triathlons and fitness and health and weight loss and that kind of stuff. I don't think I heard specifically what is it that you're going to be leveraging the knowledge and skills learned in this course. What are you going to be doing with your Facebook ads and social media skills to grow?
Awesome question, and you're right. I didn't mention that. So some of the training, some of the social media ad genius training that I'd done with Kurt previously, I did launch a Facebook page that I've got to start growing, and I've been growing a brand around triathlon and running ads, running like campaigns, essentially generating a community there that I can then run ads to specifically for my health and wellness products. So I've been getting some success with that, which is awesome. I'm really looking to sort of take that to the next level and delve in a bit deeper with that.
Nice. I like that. You're running triathlon ads.
I am, man.
Oh, yeah. Kurt
I want to take it to like the Iron Man level of the Facebook advertising.
Tony Stark can help you with that. No, Art was warning you before we started this call that I may tell a pun or two.
May
So
tell
here we are.
or two. That is true. Okay, Scott, you get one final question with the Ori before, almost sounds like the Oracle, before you guys all meet tomorrow night. And then, of course, your wrap-up review for the week, which will be on Friday. So,
Brilliant. So, Ori, what I want to know is with the 3D printer that you've got, do you already have an idea of what the first project is that you're going to tackle with that?
Well, absolutely. First of all, it's not just a 3D printer. This is the MakerBot Z18. No one has them yet. In fact, I was in communications with MakerBot and showed them my Kickstarter. I contacted them the second I launched. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna raise 20 grand so that I can buy your thing. It's more expensive than any home consumer 3D printer that's been out before, and the reason is this is the largest one for consumers out there. It can do 18 inches in height by 12 inches by 12 inches. So 3D printing, most people print things like little bobbleheads and things like that. Screw that, man. For me, I want to create large sculptures, and I can do that with this thing and breaking them up one at a time. If you go to the uphillpursuitofpassion.com, I'm not selling anything on there because the project has already ended its run, but you can see the video, you can see the sculpture. Maybe I'll edit it in over this video while I'm talking right now. It's basically the very first project that I'm going to be creating with this thing is this reinvention of Sisyphus that I've created. Instead of being a punishment of eternally pushing a boulder uphill, it's actually a positive and encouraging message for entrepreneurs that if you have a dream, you better do what it takes. You better keep pushing that boulder uphill. And yeah, it's going to roll over you a couple times and crush you and break some bones. You know, you may have a server crash, or you may fall down in a triathlon, or someone may steal your bike while you're training and you just went to go to the bathroom. You know, things are going to happen, whatever. But if you have a dream, you better keep on pushing no matter what. And then the project poster is actually this dude sitting on top of a mountain, just relaxing, leaning back against a giant boulder and holding up a margarita. You know, it's like you finally get there. And as they say, you better do the things that other people don't want to do and aren't willing to do if you want to have the things that other people want and will never have. So the sculpture is the very first thing because it's what I promised to people who helped me fund the printer. After that, I've got all sorts of ideas for inventions, for art, I even bought on Kickstarter recently a new print head that lets me print out of paste materials, so I can print sculptures out of Nutella if I want.
Nice.
Yeah. I'll send you a Nutella. Oh wait, I'm not allowed to talk about that.
No. So, okay. So, Ori, you have one final question for Scott, and then we are out of here, everybody. What's your final question?
Just where did the whole jazz? Are you like what you? I'm fixing. I mean, you said that was the first way that you guys connected was over to Jazz Hands. What's the story with that?
I don't know how big my screen is here, right? So, if I recall correctly, because in my world, the jazz hands are kind of like sort of the joke of, they can be kind of the butt of jokes of musical theater and whatnot, depending on the crowd you're with. But I think that Kurt saw me when I did a little 5-minute, not even 5-minute, couple-minute.
You got in a character.
I got into character. I got into Cat in the Hat, which was one of the best roles I have ever played, simply because it tapped into this kind of like childlike energy and exuberance that I feel. And there were a lot of hand movements and kind of jazz hand stuff going on there, and it just started a connection, a conversation with me and Kurt, and I think just cracked us both up, and that has continued for several years.
It was you and I and my business partner Tom, who's always uncomfortable in any situation, and we made it with jazz hands, and he was so uncomfortable. We all took a picture. Scott and I were having a blast, and Tom's kind of like.
It was awesome. I love that picture.
Some people will find it out on the interwebs, but you have to search a lot on that Google thing.
True.
Okay.
Well, maybe I'll edit it in here.
Let's go ahead and wrap this up because Ori already has his toys out that he's playing with. So you guys are going to enjoy both these guys. Remember, these are the Social Media Ad Genius Apprentices. What you're going to see over the next couple of weeks is them literally detailing out what they ran into for that week, what they implemented. They're going to assist and create some cliff notes for the week as well. They're going to meet on Friday. Those cliff notes will come out on that following Monday. Now, from there, in the next couple of weeks, you're going to see these guys come out as well, too. And I'm going to have them do some research on some really neat, cool, fun things that Facebook has changed, kind of keep with the updates. And then I told both these guys is, hey, we don't know what's going to happen at the end of these weeks. What are going to happen to the social media apprentices? Are they going to stick around and be an apprentice and learn more Facebook ads? What are we going to do? I don't know. You're going to have to stay tuned to figure out. And I'm sure right here, this is where Ori will edit something really interesting that will come in. Ready? Do something interesting now. May have a monkey that shows up that's playing drums. Just we've already laid some ground rules. And whenever Ori says, you guys, we should get the ground rules done first, that's a very good idea, especially since Ori brought it up too. So, again, I appreciate everybody being on the Hangout. We will all chat with you later. Thank you very much, Ori. Thank you very much, Scott. We're going to have a lot of fun. Thank you, Social Media Ad Genius Apprentices. We will see you all later.
Thanks. Awesome.